We finally made it. The Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1 Low is actually going to be dropping tonight. By the time I put out this video, it might have already dropped. It depends how fast I could edit this, but be ready. Remember, we're gonna alert when the raffle goes live inside of the free Discord group. The link's in the description below. It's on the same link as Endurance. You don't have to join Endurance, but if you guys are looking for a profitable side hustle that goes beyond just sneaker reselling, I'd encourage you to check it out. Pokemon reselling is really big right now. Anyway, whether you're planning to purchase a pair for resale or whether you end up copying a pair for retail and you wanna maximize your profit, and decide when is the best time to sell these, should you sell or hold them. I'm gonna break this down for you guys in a very simple way, and it's really just gonna come down to this time comparing these to what we saw with the initial Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1. So right now, if we look at the average price for sizes 8 to 12 on these, it's currently at a very high $2,151. Now, normally, when it comes to many releases, I will tell you guys to expect some kind of positive impulsivity effect where the price will actually jump after the drop. That's not at all what I'm expecting on this drop. And a big reason for that is because when it comes to drops like this, there isn't as many pairs in circulation as there usually is for a general release drop. Now, that's not to say there isn't already a lot in circulation, because there's a lot of backdooring scandals that we probably will have to make a video on. Subscribe if you're interested in that. But it's not to the scale of how many general release pairs would normally be in circulation, driving the price down before the drop. Whereas in this case, it looks like these are actually a bit overinflated. And you could see by looking at the vast discrepancy between the bids and where the asks currently are. The bids look like they kind of die down around like the 1,500 to 1,300 range. And that number actually makes sense. It kind of aligns with exactly what we saw with the first Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1. When those initially dropped, we saw the price at these kinds of levels before the drop, and then as soon as, you know, the shipments started to actually go out, that's when we started to see the prices drop to like that 1,300, 1,200 range. I think it's very likely we're gonna see a similar scenario with these, but probably not to that scale. I'm expecting a drop after shipments go out for these, but not as much as what we saw on that original drop. And the reason being is because Travis Scott's website is the only one that's going to be dropping these. And what that says about the total cumulative stock is that these are probably going to be more limited than that initial pair, whereas that initial pair dropped at other locations as well. So while yes, I am actually expecting these to gradually decrease in price, so if you're looking to get a pair for resale, I would not pay these prices right now. I would just hold off and wait maybe a week or two, and they should eventually reach some kind of a trough. I don't know exactly how much it's gonna be, but I wouldn't bank on it being as low as what we saw the original pair get to. I could see these dropping a couple $100 from this current average, and that'll save you some money, of course. But long-term speaking, let's say you have a pair and you're deciding if you want to sell or hold these, I think these will react very similarly to what we saw with that original Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Fragment as well. And we actually did see those appreciate, but they appreciated during a very interesting time while there was stimulus and kind of everything was going up. So you actually saw after that period, they actually fell. But after they fell, they began to appreciate again, showing that these are appreciating not just because of the macro environment at the time, but because people actually want to hold this sneaker long term, and demand is growing faster than the dead stock supply is decreasing. So with that said, you're going to have to make the choice. Is holding these going to be worth it for you, even if the value is going to go up? Because sometimes the amount it goes up, the ROI might not actually be worth your time. Well, it depends when you receive your pair, because you're gonna see a lot of price fluctuations on these especially. So let's say you get your pair super early, like let's say you have your pair now, and you have the ability to sell these above $2,000. You definitely should take that. You definitely should sell these at these prices. But again, I'm not expecting these prices to last. I'm expecting these prices to fall quite a bit in the next 48 hours to 72 hours, and even more as all the shipments actually begin to go out, and as all the backdoor recipients are cleared to start releasing their stock out into the market. So now let's say you get your pair by the time these have already dropped by a couple $100 and they're already pretty low in value. At that point, it may be worth considering holding these, because I do think these will appreciate quite a bit from that trough based off of what we saw with the initial Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1. Let's say hypothetically by the time you get your pair, it's at $1,500 in your size. At that point, you may want to consider holding them, and you shouldn't expect a crazy ROI, but I think they will appreciate enough to give you a better ROI than an index fund would be, and that's what I usually consider to be at least an average to above average hold. So again, if you get these super early and the price hasn't dropped, or if I'm just completely wrong and the price stays high like this, then it's probably not in your best interest to hold these. In that hypothetical case where I am wrong, or you just get your pair super early, just sell them right away. In the case that these do drop quite a bit though, and these get into that mid 1,000 range, that's when you want to consider holding these, because then we could start seeing these appreciate a couple $100s over a longer duration of time. But let me know what your thoughts are, what you would do depending on when you get your pairs. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, we're gonna alert when the raffle goes live inside of the free Discord. The link's in the description below. I'll see you guys later.